My name is Katherine. I am 32 years old. I work for a small magazine. My job is simple. I take pictures of people and places. But one day, my boss gave me a very strange job. Katherine, he said, go to the new building site near the river. Take photos of the workers. I did not like the idea. Construction sites are loud and dirty. But work is work, so I took my camera and went. When I arrived, the workers were shouting and laughing. They were big men with dusty clothes. Some of them looked at me and laughed. "Why is a woman here?" a man said. "Women bring bad luck to building sites," another man joked. I ignored them. I only wanted a good picture. I walked near a big pile of bricks. I wanted to photograph the tall wall behind it. But suddenly my foot slipped. I fell forward. At that moment, the pile of bricks began to move. They started falling toward me. Someone shouted, "Watch out!" A tall worker ran toward me. His name was Jim. He tried to stop the falling bricks with his arms, but one brick hit his head. Jim fell to the ground. The other workers froze in shock. I did not think. I grabbed Jim's heavy arms. I pulled him away from the falling bricks. My body was small, but fear gave me strength. Finally, we were safe. The workers stared at me in silence. A small woman had just saved the strongest man on the site. After a few minutes, Jim opened his eyes. His friends began laughing. "Look at Superman," one man shouted. "The little woman saved him." Jim's face turned red. He was embarrassed. He stood up and pushed one of the men. Soon the workers were fighting and shouting. I lifted my camera and took a photo. It was a powerful picture. Later that day, I tried to speak with Jim. "I'm glad you are okay," I said. But Jim looked at me coldly. "I do not need help from rich girls," he replied. His words surprised me. "I was only trying to help," I said. He crossed his arms. "Your world and my world are different." His tone was proud and rude. I felt angry. "Well," I said sharply, "I have a chair at home with more heart than you." Then I left. That night, I was sitting in my apartment. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. I opened the door. It was Jim. He was holding my camera stand. "You forgot this," he said. He stepped inside. His eyes moved around my apartment, the clean floor, the expensive sofa. Then he looked at me. "Where is the chair?" he asked. "The chair with more heart than me." I tried to stay calm, but before I could answer, Jim stepped closer. Suddenly, he kissed me. It was fast and strong. My heart jumped. I pushed him away, but Jim only smiled. "Now you will remember me," he said. Then he left. I stood there in silence, angry, confused, and thinking about him all night. 2 weeks later, something surprising happened. Our magazine published the photo of the workers fighting. Because of that photo, Jim lost his job. When I heard the news, I felt guilty. So I went to see him. I can give you a job, I told him. My assistant left last month. You can help me carry equipment. Jim looked suspicious. Why would you help me? I shrugged. Maybe I feel responsible. After a long silence, he accepted. That night, I told my sister my secret plan. I will work with him until I stop thinking about him, I said. He is loud and rude. Soon I will get bored. My sister laughed. You are playing with fire, she said, but I did not listen. For the next few weeks, Jim worked with me every day. He carried my camera bags. He helped set up lights. Sometimes we argued. Sometimes we laughed. Slowly, I began to see a different side of him. Jim was not only strong, he was smart. He understood how buildings worked. He understood people. One night, we finished work late. Jim looked at me and smiled. You are not as proud as you pretend to be, he said. I smiled back. And you are not as rude as you pretend to be. He leaned closer, and we kissed again. This time it felt different. I thought my strange plan had worked, but in the wrong way. I did not stop liking him. I liked him even more. But happiness did not last long. One afternoon, my sister visited our office. While Jim was outside, she told him everything. She told him about my plan and how I hired him to stop liking him. When Jim returned inside, his face was cold. You think I am a toy? He asked. No, I said quickly, but he did not listen. You played with me like a game. He walked away, and this time he did not come back. Months passed. The building near the river was almost finished. I went there to take photos for the magazine. When I arrived, I saw Jim again. He was standing with the builders. They were studying the walls. Jim was explaining something. Later, I learned the truth. Jim was not only a worker. He was very talented with building design. He had an idea to fix a serious problem in the walls. Everyone was watching him work. Suddenly, a heavy wooden beam began to fall. It was falling toward me. Before I could move, Jim ran. He pushed me away from the danger. The beam crashed to the ground. Because Jim stopped his work, the bosses thought his plan had failed. They blamed him. He lost the job again, and this time it was because he saved me. Later, I checked my photos. The pictures showed everything. Jim's plan had worked perfectly. The building was safe. I showed the photos to the bosses. Jim saved your project, I told them. But please do not tell him I helped. A few weeks later, I had a dinner party at my house. My boss Henry asked me to marry him. Everyone thought he was the perfect man. But my heart felt empty. Then suddenly the door opened. Jim walked inside. He looked at me quietly. I know the truth, he said. You helped me. He picked up my heavy wooden chair with one hand. Then he pointed at Henry. Choose, Jim said calmly. The safe life or the real one? My heart already knew the answer. I walked toward Jim. He smiled. He lifted me over his shoulder like a child, and we walked out the door together.